You know what, Andrew? I got a hot take. I'm glad that the European athletes or whoever else keeps making fun of Asians' eyes.
Why is that?
Because shows that we're coming.
Oh, and also the more controversy they make, the less sponsorships they get, and that's how people are going to learn. Hit them in a pocketbook. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Hot Pot Boys. David and Andrew here. We got to talk about something that's going viral, but it's just very symbolic of something that's been going on for years. The Juventus Women's Soccer Club has made a tweet about one of their athletes wearing what looks to be an Asian rice hat, and she's pulling back her eyes to look Asian, and it's just a total mocking tweet. I don't even know why they did it. There was a huge outrage and backlash. They are now apologizing, saying they didn't mean for it to be offensive. They don't know what they were doing. But why do athletes keep doing this? Because there is a long history of it happening.
Yes, there is a very long history of athletes making fun of Asians' eyes, whether Asians are referees, rival players,
even their fans.
Yeah. And it stretches, it's a lot in Europe, but even in America, there have been some things. Recently, Devin Funchess from the Green Bay Packers kind of was referred to eyes being chinky.
I can see the face emoji. Everybody go tinky, and that's when I know it's...
Right. And use that word. Obviously, that word, you probably shouldn't be using it.
Cardi B, Megan Rapinoe, even the queen of woke, got in trouble a little bit for saying hey, you look so your eyes are so small, they're Asian.
So in this video, we want to talk about why we think people keep doing it. What are some reasons behind it?
Specifically in the sports world.
Yes.
Because you don't hear it, Andrew, in the tech world. And there's a lot of Western companies being rivals with Eastern companies in the tech world. I have yet to see Jeff Bezos say, hey, Jack Ma, how crazy would that be?
I think this Amazon stock price would just plummet for sure.
But I'm just trying to paint a picture, guys, here. That goes to show you how different athletics is when they do battle with Asians than the tech world. Because the tech world is heavily Asian. And not only that, I think people are a lot more educated. And I do think it speaks to the old world, blue collar, warrior, gladiator nature of athletics, specifically in Western Hemisphere.
All right, so
here's very schoolyard.
Here's my theory on why, for example, let's just say a lot of Italian athletes keep doing this. Is because Italy is not a very diverse place. It's 95% Italian. It's very regional. There's all these different places, and even Italians themselves within Italy are racist against each other. For example, the northern Italians kind of look down on the southern Italians, the Sicilians.
It's known as a kind of a isolated provincial place. These are all generalizations, but that's why you have the PSG shirt on and not Juventus.
Hey, PSG is a very woke team.
Well, because it is true that obviously France, Germany, they have a lot more other Europeans working in their business centers.
And I'm not making excuses because I'm not justifying anything. It's wrong. But let's look at pro athletes, especially from the European side. They have been in pro athlete circuits for since they were 12 years old.
Because they don't have college athletics over there.
They don't have college athletics, so they have not been getting any sort of good liberal education or progressive education, let's say this. So they don't really understand diversity. Plus, those countries are not necessarily diverse. There's not a lot of Asians. We have to understand America leads the woke movement in the world. Right. And that means Asian Americans lead the Asian woke movement across the world, too. America's the most woke because we kind of have this crazy, kind of brutal history with race in America and diversity. And we have so many conversations and so many movements that, of course, we got to be the most woke. Other people, they're not like that. They don't have the same situation.
But I agree with you on a national, country to country comparison. We have to be honest, though, even within America, sports is way less woke than tech. Yeah. Tech is known as the most progressive industry almost in the world.
So David, I want to say this eye pull thing has been done by many athletes throughout the decades.
Spain in 08.
But even in the past few years, there's kind of been, seems like a surge of it. Why do you think recently there's been a surge?
Long story short, it's because we're coming.
Uh-oh.
What I mean, right, now a lot of people are going to pull that in.
David, that sounds scary.
It's because Asians have been rising in their economic profile. With that rise in economic profile, they've been able to improve their sports programs. So instead of just being little diminutive, physically diminutive technical nerds, dominating diving and ping pong and things like that, even though there was still a comment, I think, by a Russian commentator saying oh, I can't believe they can't even see the ping pong ball. So that
he got in trouble for that.
Yeah, and ping pong, I was Asians are dominant in ping pong. But we're starting to enter, Andrew, the warrior sports. And the warrior sports have not seen us be competitive before. Think about it. Even when Diana Taurasi was playing keep away in borderline disrespectful way from the Japanese player.
That was an offensive foul.
You know what is the most noteworthy part of that, though? Even more than the move, which was very 50-50?
What?
The fact that Japan was in the gold medal game for women's basketball.
I didn't even know they were, to be honest. I was surprised. Shout out to Japan. Shout out to the women's team.
Yeah.
That's amazing to get that far. They beat France, right?
That's even, to me, a even bigger story.
Right.
That they were in the gold medal game. Because you would not expect an Asian team to be in the gold medal game of a warrior sport, contact sport, basketball.
You're almost saying that Asians are making it up that high on the main stage for that to even happen. It kind of reminded me of that time that Jeremy Lin was killing it with Linsanity, and then there was that ESPN headline that said chink in the armor and was trying to refer
Floyd
to
Mayweather
the
was
defense.
commenting on it.
And it's like, but they're only talking about Asians because Asians are making it to that level. Because Asians now, whether it's the Tokyo Olympics or Beijing Olympics or all the Asian athletes and all the Asian countries winning medals in this Olympics, is that we own some real estate in their minds. Now,
where there previously was no real estate owned.
there was no property owned. But I will say this, that since these people, a lot of them don't come from educated backgrounds because, they're athletes they've been athletes since they were 12. Their thoughts on Asians is not very nuanced and advanced.
Right. And it's specifically in their field. You know how a lot of people are like, oh, but how could they be so ignorant when Asia's like making all the phones and the cars? In, like you're saying, this athlete realm that these people have been siloed into for their entire life. So we're talking about Sylvia Valai right here. I checked out her Instagram. The girl who did the eye thing for Juventus. She only follows LeBron, Jumpman, and The Rock. And everybody else she follows is Italian or mostly white, but mostly Italian.
Right.
So she doesn't even know anybody. I'm sure she doesn't know LeBron. Like, she's just like a fan.
And I've been telling Asians this for a long time that I'm like, dude, look at people's Instagram pages and see who they follow because those are the accounts that are popping up. You see how to get this story, you got to follow like Next Shark, Jackfruit, the Asian Instagrams. Right. There's way more people in the world that have no idea what those Instagram pages are.
Now, Andrew, there's another aspect that we have to get to because otherwise people are going to say that we're neglecting it. Andrew, Asians in Asia sort of perceive this a little bit differently than Asians in the Western society. Asians in Western countries tended to be more offended by Juventus, and Asia was kind of split like half-half. They don't love it, but they were just like, I still like Juventus. I'm Malaysian. I'm a big soccer fan.
Yeah. I do think when it comes to especially the cultural appropriation thing, which is a different conversation, Asians in Asia see it a lot differently. I do think the eye thing, since it's a physical trait that all Asians share across the world, I do think that they are not going to like it. And had someone done it in like China, for example, China's pretty strict about that stuff, they would come down hard.
You're talking about the Gigi Hadid.
Yeah, well, also an Italian player who was playing on a Hebei soccer team in China, he actually did it for his fans, but he literally thought it was an endearing thing to do. So I'm saying everything. There's a range. There's a range when people are doing this. I don't think every single athlete is a racist. I think that a lot of them are just ignorant and they think that they're doing it even out of endearment. It can range from that.
That's what Spain said in 08.
It can range from endearing. Be like, hey, I just want to look like my fans. My fans, I have eyes like these. He's cool, right? Oh, sorry, it's a joke. And then all the way to, yeah, I don't like the Chinese. Yeah, they weird looking people. Yeah, haha, do their eyes.
Yeah, the alien Mongolian.
That was my really bad Italian accent. Yeah, but that's what it ranges. So
yeah, and I think that you have to be sensitive to it. I understand people are like, I'm not saying I'm with the wokeness movement 10 out of 10 in the US, but I think that it's still better than 0 out of 10 or 1 out of 10. At the end of the day, overly woke, it's better than ignorant. So listen, guys,
should we be putting the American standard of wokeness onto every other country, even despite that their country's history is different?
Listen, guys, I tend to think that things are always like a pendulum swing, or it's a little bit like the cloud of war. If you guys ever played Warcraft, you have to clear out the cloud of war and then let people retract from that. Mm-hmm. I mean, society, unfortunately, is often like a pendulum. So you have to swing things in terms of momentum directions, and they'll ultimately correct to a more of a nice balance, so if it's whether or not it's overly woke right now, so be it, because it was overly unwoke and ignorant and racist or whatever, so be it. I mean, basically, I would say this though, as far as what Asians can do, I think a lot of people would have liked that Japanese player, to have fouled Diana Taurasi, even though she was towing with her. That's not our culture. Our culture is to be very polite and show respect to the opponent. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the things that have been happening, we never do that, or I don't even know what we could do. Like, what could you do? What could they have done to the Serbians to represent Serbia on a physical level? I don't know. Like, done this?
Yeah,
So I don't know.
I think we just don't like how there's this kind of universal global Asian joke, and it's pull your eyes back. In any country, any culture, it's offensive. But obviously, some people are just going to read it differently. The same racist thing can happen to different people, and different people absorb it and process it differently. My overall take is this, guys, to wrap this up. Listen, it's wrong. They shouldn't be doing it, and we should call them out on the internet as much as possible. Whenever it happens, if they do it again, we should call them out. We should also give people a chance to grow and learn from it. And if they do happen to lose sponsorships from even an Asian company or a non-Asian company, then so be it. I don't care.
And I want to say this. If Asians do it, whether that's in the commercial level or when South Korea had that very poor, I guess, a really bad look for them when they associated everybody with stereotypes in the opening Olympic ceremonies. They had like pizza for Italy, Chernobyl for Ukraine, which was really offensive. They got in trouble for that. They should definitely get called out for that too. So, I mean, I just think that ultimately, guys, we got, everybody's right to call each other out right now. And we'll just see what comes from it. It's annoying. Some people might not like this process. Some people might be like, oh, it might be better if everybody just had thicker skin. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm ultimately glad this is happening because I like people saying how they really feel, but it's also representative of a lot of other factors too, and how Asians are entering a lot of fields that they haven't been previously prominent in.
It kind of turns into this like ultimate international discourse, right? You say something that might be offensive, whether it's the Asian people with their commercials and the companies or it's these European athletes, and then a whole bunch of the internet comes at and tells you why it's wrong, and then you apologize, you think about it, and you learn from it. That's okay. I'm okay with that process as long as people learn from it and as long as we keep calling people out for it.
Now, is there some skepticism that maybe certain people don't actually want to learn or they don't feel sorry? I don't know. I can't call it. I tend to be very hyper cynical in my analysis, but at the end of the day, my heart is optimistic, guys. Let us know in the comment section below what you thought about this Juventus thing, whether you thought it was about Devin Funchess from the Green Bay Packers or even the Serbia versus Thailand. Let us know.
Let us know in the comments below what you think. I know that this can be a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. This is the Hot Pop Boys. We hope to have more discussions like this, so peep the YouTube channel. Also follow us on Instagram at Fung Bros because sometimes we'll post a little IG exclusive video there. So check us out, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we out.
Peace.